And here we go. What's going on, guys? I said I'd make this video Saturday, but it is now 12:45 a.m. my time, and I just got home from work, and no one's on. Actually, people are on in the guild, but, well, they're not talking. Him I don't know, and he's just not talking. So, just wanted to throw this video together real quick. I'm going to try to keep it at about 10 minutes, but no promises. It depends on how much I want to explain. Just doing a quick video of what I do in PvP and PvE as a Commando / Merc healer. I was going to use my 55 Merc, but since everybody that's probably going to watch this video, all 5 of you, have been playing the pub side, I thought I would do it by Commando standards. And of course everything can be, renamed, for the Imperial side. Colto Bomb obviously would be Colto Missile. I believe these are the same. Trauma Probe is Colto Shell. Jet Boost. Actually Hydraulic Override, I believe, and Chaff Flare, but that's not really important. Stun Dart, I forget what it's called on the Merc, this one here. Negates tech or physical effects. So, just real quick, Laura is going to help us out here. So what I like to do in PvP is, usually I do have a tank on me. My friend Jackson Crichton, he's usually tanking in PvP, so he usually keeps a guard on me, which helps tremendously. If you have a guard, you want to be at least, I believe it's 15 meters? I can never remember, 15 meters or closer to your tank, or you will see a little blue guard icon here, when it'll be just orange if you are within range. And what that's going to do is it's going to absorb damage that you take. Some damage you take, I don't remember the exact percentage, is actually going to be given to your tank. So if I take, let's say it's 50%, it's not 50%, but let's just say it is. If I take 3,000 damage and I'm within range of my tank, I'm only going to take 1,500, but he's also going to take 1,500, he, she, whatever. So a guard is extremely helpful. Usually I'll have that on. If not, ask for a guard, or somebody can say no, and if anybody flips out on you, there they're not worth your time anyway. So, with that being said, what I like to do is I use this as much as possible. It is Hammer Shot with the combat support cell. I feel like I'm being an a-hole here, telling everybody, oh, we have to have this on. Everybody knows that, but just for the sake of whatever, I will use this a lot. Really, in PvP, unless somebody's taking heavy damage, if I'm healing, say, Crichton, for example, because he's a heavy armored Vanguard tank, I really only have to, when he runs up, throw this, and then heal him. You see, as Alara is standing in that, she's getting periodic heals. She's getting HOTS. Heal over time. So she's getting 50s, 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 76s. So she's healing for about 200 every 2 times I shoot her. Couple that with that, that's 300, 60s, 50, 60, 50, 60, 50, it's a big difference. So, unless people are taking heavy damage, usually I can just do that. And when you get good enough at it, you can throw it out there. You can run and throw it out there and jump and whatnot and whatever. But, so that's what I'll do. In the beginning of the match, I'll also, this here, Supercharge, it caps out at 30. Now, I have a perk. Let me let that wear off. Oh, I can actually just get rid of it. Awesome. I have a perk. Every time I use Medical Probe, you'll see it went to 3 when I shot her. It goes by 6 every time I Medical Probe. So in the beginning of the match, I'll usually do this and get my probe all the way up there. You can cap it out easy before the match starts. What that's going to do is give you supercharged cells. Now, people use that all the time. They say, every time it's up, pop it. But I don't. I think it's a waste. If I'm able to just keep somebody alive by doing this, I'm not going to use this. It's a waste. Yes, you do get the charges quickly if you're healing with Medical Probe and shooting, it's 3 and 6 every time. But say 3 people come out of nowhere and start hitting Alara. We'll pretend Alara is taking damage. Say people come in and hit Alara, and I don't have this. Well, if I had used it 5 seconds before, she might die. But what I can do is, I can just use it in an emergency. Say I see those 3 people starting to hit her. I'll pop it and immediately advanced medical probe. Now, if you want to heal them quickly, just spam the advanced medical probe, and you can just keep tapping the button. As you can see, she's getting lots of heals. And my heat, I can use this a bunch of times. I actually could use it until it went off. I never get exactly how long it is. 10 seconds. It actually increases your healing done, and you can, this has no cooldown, advanced medical probe. Now there's also a perk, I believe, actually see if I can just find it here. Okay, it actually just comes with supercharged cells. Colto Bomb places a shield on all targets, reducing damage by 5% for 15 seconds. In PvP, that's ridiculous. 5% might only be 300 damage, but, you know, as you can see, I hit her with a regular heal, it's 800. So I'm saving her from taking a little bit of damage, which really does help. So, another thing I'll do if supercharged cells is up, if there's a couple different people that need healing, and I'm not just going to spam her with advanced medical probe. If you alternate, if I pop supercharged cells and alternate, I have a perk that advanced medical probe reduces the cost of medical probe. So I can give her plenty more heals, and I mean, I'm still halfway through heat. And right there, you know, a quarter of the way and done. But I also refunded 18 supercharged just with that, and by alternating, and she took tons of heals. So it's a situational thing. I mean, you can use it if you'd like. I just tend to use it when I see that there's going to be a problem. Another great idea is the same with supercharged cells. People say reactive shield, use it all the time. Now Crichton he'll use it whenever it's up, almost every time. I mean, it's only 2-minute cooldown, but as a healer, there is another perk. Let's see if I can find it right there. Reactive shield now further decreases ability activation pushback by 30% and makes you immune to interrupts. Now the pushback obviously is if I'm casting and I get hit, that bar, it's not going to cancel it, but that's the best way I can show you. It's going to stop. It's going to be pushed, the bar is going to be pushed back a little bit. So it takes longer to cast. However, obviously, if I have reactive shield on, which if somebody's low and I need to heal them up or I'm taking damage, I'll use it. But especially if someone's low and you need to throw them some heals, use reactive shield. Doesn't matter if you're taking damage or not, because it's going to reduce your pushback and nobody can interrupt you for those. Let's see how long it lasts. I don't remember. 12 seconds. Nobody can interrupt any of your heals for 12 seconds. That's ridiculous. Couple that with supercharged cells and you can alternate these two to your heart's content. Nobody will interrupt you. No one will stop you. Now they can push you away. If you get moved, your heal will be interrupted, obviously. When I use reactive shield, most of the time I'll also use hold the line. Movement impairing effects, knockdowns, and physics. You can't be pushed. If a juggernaut or a guardian runs up to you, and I don't know what the guardian equivalent is, I only have a juggernaut. They run up to you and push, force push, you won't move, as long as you have the hold the line on. It's only 6 seconds, but I pop it right away anyway. I wouldn't wait until you see a juggernaut running up, because by then, you know, push has like a, I want to say it's like 15 or 20 meters, maybe less, but it's close enough that if I was from Alara to me, oh, excuse me, man, I think at least right here she would be able to use it and push me. So, oh man, sorry. So I use it right away with reactive shield. Moving on, concussion charge, best move ever. One of the best moves ever. I guess technically this combo would be one of the best moves ever. Concussion charge. This is awesome. If 4 people jump on you, I pop concussion charge, and then my shield might hold the line. Sometimes I use it to kill people. You know, we're on Void Star running across a bridge. I'll throw a cryo grenade down, run up to him, push him off the bridge. It's a concussion charge. Up to 5 people. I'll just read it. Deals 128 to 134 elemental damage and pushes up to 5 nearby enemies back, away from the trooper. Targets have their movement speed reduced by 50% for 4 seconds after being knocked back. So, as a trooper, the one thing I love about the trooper is they have so much survivability and so many just tactics and tricks and tools to use, I think. Like I said, I tried Sorcerer Heals, I didn't like it as much. I had the shield and the sprint. That was, and the self-heal, the instant self-heal. But that wasn't really enough for me to make up for all this stuff. I mean, they just have so much stuff. So concussion charge is great if people are on you, you know, or if somebody is getting wailed on and you need to heal them. If you're close enough, run up concussion charge and start healing them any way you can. It comes in handy more often than not. Moving on. Trauma Probe. This is one that I don't use very often, only because I usually forget about it. I'm not sure why, I just don't. It's a little bit of healing. I'll read it again. Deploys a Trauma Probe with 10 charges that last 5 minutes. When the target is damaged, Trauma Probe loses 1 charge and heals the target for 158 to 174. Cannot occur more than once every 3 seconds. Only 1 Trauma Probe may be deployed at a time. Obviously, you'd have to scale the healing. Right now, it's 158 to 174. I think in the war zones it goes up to 400, 500 or something like that. It's maybe even lower, probably in the 300s, 300 range. Like I said, I don't use it very often. There is a perk in the tree. I believe it's up here somewhere. Right here. Frontline Medic. While affected by your own Trauma Probe, firing Hammer Shot at an enemy has a 50% chance to trigger your Trauma Probe. Cannot occur more than once every 3 seconds, but this rate limit is separate from Trauma Probe's rate limit. So you can be taking damage and get a tick from the probe, and then in that same second shoot somebody and get another tick from the probe. So if you're going to use it on yourself a lot, just to kind of, you know, keep your health up a little bit when you're getting hit, get this perk. It's useful because you get this. Increases the healing done by Trauma Probe by 5%, increases its max number of charges by, I believe it's 15 at max, 15% at max, and charges by 3 at max. And I think the rate limit actually goes up too, so I think it's a whole second that it will, you know, a whole second less that you have to wait before it'll tick again when you take damage or you shoot. It's good, but you know, it's kind of one of those perks where it's not 100% useful if you don't really use it very often. Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, it's like I say, it's useful. You kind of have to take them, unless you want to put, you know, Med Zone in there. I didn't. I'm probably not going to. If you need to pop your shield and heal yourself, it's useful. Or if someone else is healing you while that's up, it's useful. But honestly, you're throwing heals out all the time, so I just didn't find it all that useful. Preventative medicine is advanced medical probe will actually heal them for. It'll give them a heal over time, just like your Culto bomb or whatever would do while they stand in it if you have this perk. No, not that one, this one. What that does is that when you throw your Culto bomb, it heals over a few seconds for a little bit more. It's extremely useful, especially if you have a group together. One of the things the Commando excels at is just being able to top people off, and I probably should have explained that earlier. That's something I try to do as well. If I see someone taking damage, or they hardly are missing any health, I'll shoot them with Hammer Shot, or I'll throw a Culto bomb, just to kind of keep them topped off. That's how I heal. Even if they take a little bit of damage, I might even throw out a full-fledged heal. If my tank or my DPS takes 100 damage, I might just throw them a whole heal, just to make sure that they're topped off. That's just how I do it. I like to think that I'm good enough at managing my ammo or my heat that I can do that. I'll even do that in ops. If I see the DPS is struggling, if a couple of them have taken a little bit of damage, top them off. If you have the ammo, do it, because that's 300-400 a person less that you have to worry about when they get hit for more. So, same thing. It does heal over time, and this also gives your Colto Bomb a heal over time. Moving on. I think I've taken enough time on these. This video is up to like 15 minutes now, but we're going to keep going because I know you guys love to hear me talk. Oh, and burp under my breath into the mic. I don't know why I do that. Maybe I get nervous when I talk, I'm not sure. Anyway, so another trick I will use. If I'm being chased in PvP, let's go out here for a second, just so we can run. Let's say M14X up there is my group mate, and I'm getting hit. Now, I could just run. I could run up to my tank. Yeah, I'm getting hit the whole time, my health is going down. What I like to do is I like to use Colto Bomb in that situation. Obviously, I'm going to pop the shield. And while I'm running, I'm going to throw Colto Bomb up here. So that by the time I get there, well, that didn't work. I just got the heal over time. That was a terrible shot. Let's try that again. You actually want to throw it so that you're in the circle when you throw it. I'll throw it like there. Now, in a war zone, now I didn't get the full heal over time from standing in it, but, in a war zone, that's like a 1300, 1400, maybe even a 2k on a good crit. And that'll just give me a little bit more health while I'm getting away. With a tick, that probably would have been close to 1800. With that, right there, the 60 would have been a lot more bolstered. So that helps to top you off. If you're being chased, and you're trying to get away, say you're going to line of sight them around this corner, I'll throw the Colto Bomb and get around the corner. And that way it just gives me a little bit more health. That way when I get around the corner, I have a little bit less to heal. So that is just something I like to do as well. Other than that, your concussion charge and all that is pretty situational. You can use that. Obviously, this does nothing. It's kind of cool, though. I feel like Naruto or something. Anyway. It doesn't do anything in PvP. Taunts work extremely well. Obviously, the Commando is not going to have one. The Vanguards all do. The taunts work in PvP, but your reduces threat it doesn't. What I think it should do is it should make them lose target, even if it's just for a second. You're getting hit, you pop this, they lose their target on you, and you get around a corner. That gives a healer or a DPS a little bit more survivability. Again, all they'd have to do is tab target. Mine's F, but you see how quickly it works for allies. Same thing. Just all they have to do is retarget. But even if they lose your lock for a second, if they're in the middle of using Master Strike or I forget what a Ravage for the Juggernaut Marauder version, to lose target, it might actually still channel, I'm not sure, but for other things, say sorcerers are shooting, even if you pop that and for that 1 second they have to hit the button again to get it to go and it says no target, it's useful. It would give you a little bit of survivability. So that's what I think that should do. But anyway, we're getting off topic. I think there's anything I missed. Field Aid I don't actually usually use much in PvP. There's just too much going on to really sit here and look for, your bars over here, and you gotta... On my Merc I did blow up the dots to be bigger. We were running ops and such. There's actually things that you have to cure, or the group will wipe. I think on Hammer Station the bot puts a dot or a debuff on someone that increases the damage done by the mining laser. You have to get that off, or your tank will die. It doesn't matter how geared they are. But I don't really use it in PvP all that much. It's just too much. You're constantly moving around. It's all situational. You're looking around. You're healing this guy, running over here. So it's just a pain. But on that note, actually, what I did is I bound my target enemy is on tab. I can't show you that because there are no enemies in here, but that's the default, I believe. But what I did is I used F for target nearest ally. So, sometimes I hold my right mouse button to move my camera, so sometimes, I'm moving around and I don't have time to stop, and you're trying to click people out in here. You can't see my mouse, but you can see me targeting her. You're trying to target people out here, and you click them, and you run by them, or they run through you, and you click too over here and you don't get it. So I actually made F my target outline, and it works the same as target enemy. Whoever I'm looking at, if he's in my line of sight, even sometimes when they're not. See right there, it'll target him. But if you're looking at somebody, even if somebody was standing next to him and I hit it, it would target the person next to him. Whoever you're looking at or closest to, I believe, it will target. It's extremely useful. I use it all the time, especially if I need to hammer shot somebody and then turn around and target that person and hammer shot them. It works miracles. So that's what I did. I bound it to F. You don't have to. Again, that's just something I did to make it a little easier on myself. Hopefully this will be my last closing thought. This video is up to 20 minutes already. Jeez. How I heal people normally is I move. You have to keep moving in PvP, but don't think that you have to run constantly. You don't have to be doing this to heal or to get away. If you've got a group, and my group does a wonderful job of keeping me alive. Zaf and Dante and Hal, they all do a terrific job of keeping me alive. I don't take credit for. I take credit obviously because I'm healing, but I don't really take credit for all the heals I do. Between Crichton's guard, Zaf throwing me some heals, Zaf keeping people off me, Hal keeping people off, Dante giving me a guard, keeping people off. They really help out a lot. So you really, as a healer, if you don't have anybody helping you out, you're just going to get targeted. People are going to, I can't mark her, but people are going to mark you in PvP, and you won't be able to see it, but the other team will. And once that happens, you're done. You might as well kiss your butt goodbye. Unless, I'm not saying it's not possible to stay alive, you have your shield and all, but if the group gangs up on you and you don't have anybody to help you out, no guard, or, you don't even need a guard, but no DPS helping you out, killing people, keeping people off of you, that's where cryo grenade and concussive charge, and that just looks awesome. That's where all that comes in handy. So, unless you have that, you're probably going to die. The way I heal in PvP is you have your ops bar over here, and I should have had some people on so I could demonstrate, but everybody knows what the ops bar looks like. Mine is a little bit bigger. Maybe not on my Commando. On my Merc, I made it a little bit bigger. I can stand in one spot if I'm close enough, and you'll notice when you're close enough because people's names will be lit up. Sometimes they'll be lit up, but they'll be behind a box. Sometimes in PvP you'll have this situation. I can hit her now, but especially Void Star, the little boxes around the door, sometimes you can't see people. You'll be looking right at them and you can't see them. So sometimes it'll be lit up, but it'll still say, cannot see target. But if it's lit up and you click it and throw them a heal, we'll just pretend that I'm clicking over here. I click the next portrait, I heal again. I really wish you could see my mouse. I see this person's low, I go down the bottom right, click him, throw him a heal. Then if I need to move, I'll move. If I need to throw a bomb down, I'll throw a bomb down. I'll push people away. It's all about stay. If I have a guard, I'll usually say she was my guard. I'll stay right here as close as I can to that tank. I will hug that tank. I will be on his balls, because if he moves, if I'm back here and 20 meters away or 10 meters away and he runs that way, I'm out of range. So I want to stay close to him so that if he moves, I can move. If she backs up, I can run forwards. But yeah, that's the way I heal. I click the ops portrait. I click a lot. Some people do F1, F2, F3, F4. I have them set so that F1's the top, at least for group. For ops, that would just get ridiculous. You'd have F1 through F8. But for group, I rarely ever use that. Even in ops and groups, just normal flashpoints, I click the portrait and then heal. Easy way for me to do it. The easiest way I think to do it would be that way. You don't want to go and try clicking people, like I said before, while they're running around. But hopefully this was a little helpful. Those are just things that I do, ways that I do it. If anybody wants to know anything specific, put it in the comments and I'll answer the question. Or I'll probably be talking to most of you on TeamSpeak, so I'll answer the question then. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Hopefully this was a little helpful. And just remember, be aware of what's going on around you. Stay out of those big red AoEs. And have fun. And I will see you guys later. Finn.